Hello, Solstice again, and I'm going to show you more of my building practices and designs. Now, over here is something I kind of thought should be done more. Just sort of simple little small bits of art with like little stuff like stairs or whatever. And there's stuff like this, could be kind of like in a wine cellar, you would have like all these bottles of wine like resting on these. Um, I've been playing around. This is around the time stained glass was more to my availability. So I built this and played around with some ideas for it. I put signs on this and put water above. Water won't fall down, and it looks pretty nice. I basically just played with all kinds of ideas to this. I don't know why I put tracks here. I think I was testing to see if mobs spawned on it. I forget the results of that. This is a trick I picked up from Seth Bling's channel. You can put vines underneath blocks like this, and they don't fall because they have something underneath them. And likewise, the vines need something to cling to. So this is pretty cool. You'd basically put it on like on the side of this block and like put this block here. You would break this block and the vine would just cling to the bottom of this one. These are some ceiling ideas I've had. This is fancy lighting I came up with for one of my builds of the past year of like a modern home. That's where I came up with it at. I basically used stained glass. I surrounded it in signs, and above it I set the actual light source. And it seemed like a pretty modern light design to me. This is a ceiling fan idea I had. Here's another sort of like a ventilation design. Broken vent idea that I had, but it needs some work. Basically, I looked at some, played around with some of this stuff, and was trying to come up with some ideal uses for it. Here's a drum set design I came up with. It actually kind of looks like a drum set. I'm sure probably lacking a few things somewhere. I haven't personally had a drum set, so I'm sure I'm probably lacking a couple things. But oh well. Um, some holders on the wall, like so you want to shove something onto, just hanging up on these. That's like another one of those things you could just do with fence gates. I was testing for ideas of maybe like extended holding bits. Eventually I came up with this, but I don't know about it. For this I was trying to come up with like almost like a phone booth or something, maybe like a spot you would like walk into and a bunch of fancy magical technical stuff happens around you. Maybe you teleport. I think that'd be pretty cool. This is a really cool chair design or I should say couch design I picked up from watching BWO's Inspiration series. Really, there is a lot of inspiration to be gained from that series, let me tell you. I really do like it. I just love to see what people come up with next and take example from it and try to come up with a few things on my own afterwards. Floating anvil. I'm pretty sure I talked about this before with the gravel of my Blackrock shooter build. Basically, you do this. You have a source block with a lily pad on top of it. Then you set the gravity affected block on top of that. Then once you put a block where the water source block is, it just sort of floats. I don't know the fuller mechanics of that, but I can assume it makes sense. Okay, so this right here is a sort of light design I came up with. I really like it. I came up with it while doing a little fancier stuff around a server I help kind of moderate a bit. This is me putting signs and fences to better decorative uses. Like, like I said, you can actually do some interesting stuff with the signs if you put enough thought and practice into it. I didn't want this to be too simple, so I went a little wild with it. Uh, right here, I was actually practicing around with some of my F3 stuff, trying to figure some of it out. With the oh, I see. This is a door. This is an iron door, probably like the bottom or top of it or something. But once it's like basically once it's placed on its own, it will be invisible, and if it's done in a certain way, you can actually have like invisible barriers with these. Some people have been doing this in some of their adventure maps, so you have a bit of an idea of the origins to that. But they do have other blocks that do this. I just don't recall them offhand. Now this is kind of see-through because of my texture pack, but normally you get a different texture when you use default textures. This is what's behind on an item frame when you try to put a map on there and there's like no map. So it sort of like shows a little through it and just the back of the item frame in an extended form. It can look pretty cool. Right here I was messing around with, I think, block 36. And this isn't even a solid block right here. This is actually a falling sand entity just held up because of this, I think. These block 36s I've actually kind of shifted since the last time I looked at them. I don't really know what causes that, but... Okay, with set block, I did this with snow layers. I set the data value of the snow layer and it sets the height of the snow layer. And then I just did that in a whole bunch of different places, and yeah, turned out like this. And if you set them in air, they will actually just be perfectly fine in air. And you could probably like parkour from one to the next or something. Like so. This is something I've kind of learned through set block with portal blocks. Different data values and the set block command with the portal blocks will actually mess around with their shape a bit. Let's see, this one is number 7 in data value. Or like damage value. Now I was hoping I could come up with a kick-ass fence design with them, but I learned using more than just this really gets some lag going, and I don't like that. Here's a lighting design I came up with for a ceiling. And I should not touch these or these will break. These are placed by set block. The actual light source is right above them. And for the most part, it doesn't look too bad. Like, this is the actual guts of what that actually looks like up there. This was another idea I had, but I didn't really like it too much. This was a lot nicer to me. Now, something I noticed on my own is that this is climbable. Like, if you jump up, hold shift at the right time, and start moving forward, you can climb this. Well, I'm all out of time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Solstice. Have a good day, and bye-bye.